Hi, it's Jen. I'm just going to do kind of a quick reading wrap-up of some of the books that I've read this week, and also some life stuff. I haven't been able to make a video for probably like 5 days now, because my brand new iPhone that I owned for all of 35 days got super hot, and I couldn't shut it off, and it basically like melted itself. So that was super exciting. So I finally got around to going into the Apple store and getting a replacement phone. So fingers crossed that this one doesn't like spontaneously self-destruct. That would be nice, you know, that it doesn't melt. I seriously, it was so hot, I thought it was going to catch fire. So I put it in like an old roaster pan on the stove on a hot pad, just so that if it caught fire, it'd be easy to contain. So yeah, that was super awesome. Let's see, other fun life stuff. Everybody's sick. It's just a cold, you know? But that's why I'm not filming in front of my bookshelves, because my kid just passed out in there. So I don't have my room right now. But that's okay, she's finally sleeping, so hooray. Other fun stuff. I had a job interview today at Target, okay? This is my second interview at Target, and I'd like to point out that I am just going for a seasonal position that is going to last a total of 6 weeks. It is a 6-week seasonal position, after which I'll be laid off, right? Because that's how those seasonal positions work. You work until January, and like a week into January, you know, you don't have a job anymore. That's how those work. So I went for my second interview today for a 6-week seasonal position. Waited for an hour, and then the manager asked me if I could go ahead and reschedule to Monday, which I said no, I waited an hour, I'm good, thanks. I'm sorry, if you're hiring seasonal help, like people who are literally going to work for only 6 weeks, 15 hours a week, you need to get that interview. It should be one and done. It should not be no multiple interview situation, you know. Just saying. Alright, so I have the books I read this week. I have one book I really hated. I have a few that were, you know, kind of neutral. They weren't like super great, they weren't super bad, they were alright. And then there was one I really liked. So I'm going to go ahead and get into those now. I'm trying to decide which one I should start with. We'll see. I'm going to start with sort of the good-ish neutral reviews. The first one I read was Amulet, book 1. I hadn't read these before. I keep trying to find a graphic novel series that really resonates with me. This wasn't quite a hit yet, but it wasn't bad, you know, so I'm gonna go ahead. I have the second book checked out from the library as well, so I'm gonna go ahead and read the second book and see if maybe it kind of grows on me. I mean, the kids all love these. they were always checked out at the library, so I'm not sure why I can't get into this, but I'll try the second book. It wasn't bad though, you know, it was good. I read it in a short amount of time. It was reasonably entertaining. There were just a couple things that I just didn't enjoy. And the next one I read was The Mouse and the Motorcycle by Beverly Cleary. I own the rest of this series. This is book 1, so of course I had to read book 1 before I proceeded on to the other ones. It's funny, when I was reading this, I suddenly remembered that I did read this as a child. I think I was probably like 8 or 9 when I read this book, and I really didn't like it then, because I did not like talking animal books. I had a huge hang-up about talking animal books. So I did not like this as a kid. As an adult, it's cute. I don't know why I had such a problem with it. But as a child, I liked realistic animal fiction, and so this just wasn't for me then. But, you know, it was good enough where I'll go ahead and read the ones I own, you know. Next I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This took me at least 100 pages to get into. I'm not sure why I wasn't initially feeling it. It felt like it was trying to get you to know too many characters at once at the beginning, and then a lot of the characters didn't really seem to have a relevant part in the story. Unless this is a case where, like, you're introduced to all the characters that are going to be relevant in the later books, in which, I mean, then that would make sense. I still liked this, and after the first 100 pages, it actually is a pretty quick read after that. Like, the remainder of the book I read pretty quickly, but the first 100 pages I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know about this. But overall I like that one. Next is the book I hated. hated. Excuse you, Blue. Sorry, my cat's sneezing in the background. This is Ragweed. It is the first book in the Poppy series. I own book 2, Poppy. So, book 1. I hate this book. I truly dislike this book super strongly. I think I gave it 2 stars on Goodreads, just for, I mean, there were a couple redeeming points in it. The hard part is the dialogue. The dialogue sounds like your dad trying to talk like the kids speak. Only now imagine that it's 1960s, 1970s street speak imitated by your father. And now you've got the dialogue. Like, it was just cringe. I did not enjoy this at all. Modern children, you'd probably almost have to translate some of the dialogue, because it's just slang that isn't used anymore. And I don't know if it was ever used. Like, some of it is just so clunky the way it works. So I did not like this. Now, I will say that I did like Poppy. Poppy was a pretty enjoyable book. Now, it says this is book 2 in the series, but you absolutely do not have to read Ragweed to enjoy Poppy. Ragweed is only briefly mentioned in Poppy, so you do not need Ragweed's story to enjoy this one. My recommendation is actually skip Ragweed's story altogether, because otherwise, if you end up liking Ragweed, then you might not enjoy portions of Poppy. So my thought was skip Ragweed. So this was pretty good. I actually might read the 3rd book in the series, but I have no reason to own the 1st book. That book doesn't even feel really related. Just the way the dialogue is handled and everything is just so different from this book. This book was good. So yes, that's my reading wrap-up for what I've read probably the last week or so. And I had to do it now. I was going to wait till the end of the month, but I have to do it now because some of these are due back to the library, and I need to go get new library books. So, yeah. So, hopefully you enjoyed that. I'll probably have less rants in my next video. I can't imagine that we could possibly get sick, melt an iPhone, and have a terrible job interview before next week. So, until next time.